good on 99 FM.
Like I mentioned earlier, we last week had 3 vibrant ladies who shared in on their 3-month internship journey. That's with the Ministry of Mines and Energy. And today, of course, like we always told you, every Thursday you get a mark in your calendar. We have our family from the Ministry of Mines and Energy. And today we're having a class of something slightly different, but we are joined by Mr. Badumisa Sibolile. How are you doing this morning?
Good morning. I'm doing fine.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm
Good morning
great.
to your listeners.
Thank you very much. He is from the Ministry of Mines and Energy's Geological Survey Department. Now, alongside him is Rejoice Simon, who actually makes part of the 13 interns who recently joined or recently completed the 3-month internship at the Ministry. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Shanti?
Great. Thank you very much. Welcome to the Crossover 99 FM. It is, of course, the Ministry of Mines and Energy news time right here in the studio. This is where we get a class of geography. If you never, ever had geography, this is a good time to actually tap into that. If you've always loved geography or anything in that sense of things, I think it's the only module in class I can think about. You know, if you're the girl who sat right in the front, yeah, I know you're very, very happy today as well, all right? Now, today we are, of course, going to be looking at quite a number of things. They actually are here to talk to us about the role of geochemistry that's in both human and animal lives, otherwise known as medical geology, and how it also impacts our daily lives. Now, don't worry. I know you're thinking, what is medical geology? You're saying things. We're all in class, and that's why that is our guest in studio today. Maybe because my listener will most now think we are not serious. We are just going to go on and talk about things as if they know. Let's get into breaking down what medical geology is and how it is or its importance in our daily lives.
Thank you. So let's get started.
Yeah.
I heard you speak of geography.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, while that is important part of this business,
Yeah.
we are exclusively from the Geoscience fraternity.
Nice.
So this morning we are going to be talking about the concept of medical geology, which is a field of geoscience.
Yeah.
Geoscience is quite broad.
Yeah.
And I think that it is important that we delve into this because on average, when you speak geology and geoscience,
Yeah.
the public out there construe that science
Yeah.
to be only directed in the space of mineral sector. So the concept of medical geology, I always want to start with a short disclaimer to my learned colleagues in the medical field.
Yeah.
That we are trained geologists or geoscientists and not medical people per se.
Okay.
So we apply the knowledge of geology or geoscience into the arena of medicine.
Okay.
So in a nutshell, when you talk about medical geology, we refer to the interaction of geological processes and factors and how that relates combined to the aspects of human and animal health.
Okay.
To an extent, we can also add the plants as well, your crops, although that is also a little bit of a different field altogether. So that interaction, because remember, our environments, wherever we are, they are largely geological in nature. So 100%. what we eat, what we inhale, what we drink, ultimately has a geological aspect to it. Okay. So in a nutshell, when we speak medical geology, we are referring to these different geological processes and factors and how both of them or all of them combined relate to our human and animal health in a nutshell.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm glad you are tuned in because you didn't miss that class. We have quite a number of things we're also going to be tapping into. I think the next thing is really how does medical geology affect our daily lives? You did mention quite a number of things. You know, it comes from how we breathe, what we're inhaling, exhaling, you know, stuff around us. But really, how does it affect our daily lives, this day-to-day thing that we're doing?
Yeah, and that's one of the things that the ordinary person out there might not take serious. Take, for example, that the maize crops that you are eating, they grow in the soils. So the soils provide nutrients for these plants to grow. So if the soils have certain elements or chemicals, if you may, that are toxic now in higher quantities, we usually say something is toxic if it's way elevated above in excess above recommended levels. So if a certain mineral or element is toxic in that particular area where you grow your crops, so by you eating these crops, you ingest what has been absorbed from the soils. So and I always say this, that usually these processes happens now. You might not see the immediate consequences, but as you grow older, maybe 10, 15 years later, you start to develop these terminal illnesses here and there, in which case usually, of course, your medical people are going to advise you accordingly, but usually it might be a bit late to intervene. And this is where we come in from the geoscience field, specifically geochemistry, to say we map our grounds, we map our soils, so we determine what our soils contain. After having done that, then we are able to say maybe in a particular area there's elevated levels of a certain element. We are able to advise the people in that particular vicinity to be aware of this, so we can devise remedial measures.
All right. I think that speaks to the role that Namibia's geology plays in the health of its people, which you just highlighted there. But also just looking at other things like mineral deficiency, maybe something that somebody might have come across, but they're like, what is that? But thankfully you're in studio. When we speak of mineral deficiency, what is it, and what are some of the minerals that could actually be lacking in either us as human beings or animals?
Let me also address that one. So a deficiency is a lack of. When that which is required in your system is way too low compared to what is recommended. So that's deficiency. If that particular element is highly elevated, it becomes toxic. So your biological system functions in a way that all that is required for you to function properly must be balanced. So we have quite a number of elements or minerals that can be deficient in the human bodies. For example, if you have a deficiency of vitamin D, we know that deficiency in vitamin D is, always results in what we have seen as rickets, the bent limbs. That's lack of vitamin D. We also know, for example, that iodine. If you lack iodine, we develop what we term a swollen gland here by the neck. We call that typically goiter. So all these are the things that with an informed when we do mapping, we are able to take informed decisions because we will know in which particular area do we have a deficiency in iodine, for example. So that is just one or two of the examples I can mention now on deficiencies and toxicities.
All right. Well, a very good morning to you. In case you're joining in, that is Mr. Badumisa Sibolile from the Ministry of Mines and Energy's Geological Survey Department, giving us what you thought was just, I'll tune in and listen. I'm feeling very much like I think Mr. Sibolile needs to consider a career in, maybe being a lecturer or something. I'm loving this class. But I guess that's a conversation for another day. We're also going to be talking to Rejoice shortly about her research that focuses on geophagic clay. Don't fight me. She'll tell us all about it after this. Still with us on your Feel Good Station 99 FM, and we are still out here with our family. That is from the Ministry of Mines and Energy. That is Mr. Badumisa Sibolile from the Ministry of Mines and Energy's Geological Survey Department. Literally got me feeling like I probably need to switch careers right now. Yeah, maybe I should do this one part-time and move a little bit more onto the other side of things. But also alongside him is Rejoice Simon, who also will then be joining us through, that is her research that focuses on geophagic clay. You, Rejoice, my people might fight me for this one, but I'm glad you're here because, hey,
yeah. Easier for them.
Yeah. Can you explain to us what that is and why you chose this one specifically?
Okay. My research topic is basically the characterization of the mineral composition of geophagic clay minerals in northern Namibia and how it impacts human health. Okay. So basically the idea around it is to combine environmental geology with public health data. Okay. Where we will analyze this different geophagic clay, which is basically clay that we consume. Okay. The termite mounds in northern Namibia. Yeah. Very common, especially in pregnant women. Yeah. Yes.
When you said we consume, the first thing I know is I had a friend when she was pregnant, she had this craving. Yes. And I was like, okay, maybe that's it.
That's because there's a deficiency lacking. Okay. Yeah, that's where.
Okay. Yes. That's the deficiency that missed it. Okay, nice.
Yes. So, yes. So.
Yeah, that's basically the highlight in terms of that. Okay. Well, also, we are running out of time, but I mean, I'd wish to have this for an hour and more, but I know that we always have this every Thursday, so I'm already looking forward to next week and what we have in store for that. But really, overall, what message do you have for young Namibians who are interested in medical geology?
Okay, I would encourage young Namibians to explore this growing field because it's very fascinating, but it is often overlooked. So, ask questions, stay curious.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining in and giving us an entire class of what might have cost us a couple of, a number of thousands, because this would have been a lecture we need to, a program we probably need to apply for. But thank you so much for taking time out to share that with us. Before we say goodbye, any final words from your side?
I think the final word, like Rejoice has indicated, we need to encourage, especially young people, to look at medical geology as a career. Yeah. It's still a fairly field of study, fairly new field of study, and therefore it still requires quite a number of people to advance it as career. Okay. So we encourage the young people and also the public at large to understand that what the geologist does, what the geoscience space does, ultimately affects all of us. Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Well, there you have it. And that concludes our chat this morning with our family from the Mines and Energy Ministry. Keep tabs on the Mines and Energy Ministry's social media pages for all updates and more so. I know you're possibly Googling some of those words as well. That should be part of your mission. And like Mr. Sibolile had indicated, it's fairly new. So maybe your interest just got a little bit of a spark there. And yes, you've got work to do in terms of research and just investigating a little bit more in terms of that. Tune in next week, same time. I'm talking 10:45. And of course, we'll be chatting a whole lot more, but possibly something different.
Feel good on 99 FM.